Okay, so let's see if we can do this for Michelle especially. Oh. Okay, so we just introduce ourselves a little more somehow. It's complicated. Thank you. So, sweetie, whatever you said, and everyone, when you share what you're afraid of, the biggest fear you have, yes, most of us, we're even afraid to say because we're afraid to, whatever we fear, we attract that. I had that all my life. I knew that if I'm gonna have fear of something, I'm gonna lose that, yeah? And this is how I had fear to lose my first husband, by the way. Somehow I had this fear. So I didn't want him to fly. And when I lost him, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I always had fear that something gonna happen to him. So all those fears we have, and we mentioned today, they all come, of course, from the mind, yeah? Not from our essence. And because of that, all those fears, most of us, we are in survival mode. Because when we have fears, doesn't matter how many fears, and we have a lot, like you said, all batch, even scared, even afraid to look there, yeah? And when we have fears, where we hold those fears? We hold them in the body. And our body becomes tense. Because the holder is mind, but where it holds? In the body. So our body becomes tense. This is what when I do energy transmission, I feel tension. Very rarely person doesn't have tension here. Because people in the mind always wants to be somewhere, yeah? And always fearful. Because when we are in the mind, we can talk about love, but we cannot feel love. And because of the tension in the body, we are not able to open the heart. So actually, number one, the step is to relax our body and mind so we can open the heart. And to release, to erase everything what is in the mind. And we hold so much stuff there. We need to open the heart, at least the way I see, like 33 layers. So, see this poster I did a month ago maybe. So we're conscious maybe 5-10%. You consciously chose to come here, yes? But 90-95%, maybe somebody 80%, we are on autopilot. We are doing stuff whatever is in our subconscious mind. Because whatever programs we have, emotions we have in subconscious mind, and subconscious mind is 500,000 times faster than conscious mind. So all patterns we are going through life, yeah? And we are blaming others, or we are worried about kids, yeah? Or name it. We have fear that something gonna happen, or fear that I'm gonna lose my freedom. All of them are here until we clear. So this quantum eraser is about clearing all those fears, subconscious programs that I'm not a good mom, yeah? Or whatever. When we clear that, we become what? Our mind, empty mind. This is enlightenment, yes? Empty mind. And believe me or not, 5 months ago, I thought, oh, my mind is totally pure, yeah, because I don't have thoughts. The thought sometimes still comes, but when I started to do the eraser, oh my gosh, I was thinking, oh, Helena, come on. Of course, I never say that I am enlightened, no. But I said, like, yeah, I'm present, yeah? And most of the time I'm present. But still, there are so many things in unconscious mind, even unconscious mind here, which we normally we even don't remember. Like in my case, when the sexual maniac 35 years ago grabbed me when I was a student, oh, that was 4 years ago, I guess, yeah, over 4 years ago, when I was a student, I forgot. For 30 years, I didn't remember that. So I pushed that because that was shocking. So for me, that was shocking situation, the most shocking situation probably. The second one, yeah? The first one was when my husband, no, first was the sexual maniac, then my husband. So I pushed them so deeply to unconscious that event I didn't remember for 30 years. I didn't remember. After 30 years, man shows up and kind of remind that guy, sexual maniac, and then came to the surface. So we have really in this conundrum. In our body we are holding, yes? And door to our subconscious mind is in the heart. So we are holding, and until we open the jar, we even don't have any idea how many fears, how many programs we have, and how many shocking events we had, which we still repress emotions, or there is some belief too from there, yeah? So, to use this eraser, what we need? We need to write down fear which you want to erase, yeah? Number 2, we need to have timer, because we're gonna do the eraser we're doing in an hour. So you just can now write down, so you're not gonna forget. We're closing our eyes. We put timer for 60 minutes. We write down. Now, why we need to write down? It's like necessary to write down, because sometimes when we start to erase, we forget words. It's like, oh, and I don't remember words. That means you are really releasing from subconscious mind, yeah?
Close eyes, timer for 60 minutes.
Yes. And you're repeating this phrase, fear, or for 30 minutes. Now, this is method, or this eraser is illogical method, okay? For logical mind would say that, no, I'm not going to repeat negative stuff, yeah? So I want to explain how that works. It's not the way how it works, maybe different, but this professor with scientists get together, and a scientist was working on something, on, checking conscious, subconscious mind in Russia, yeah? And they figure out, they notice that after 90 minutes, if you repeat the same monotonously repeat negative word or phrase, person lose consciousness. Like, whoop! So you cannot. So then they started to shorter the time, and they finally found that if we repeat negative phrase monotonously for 60 minutes, first 10 minutes usually okay. After 10 minutes, our left hemisphere of the brain start to resist, like become fearful, like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing wrong, maybe I'm gonna go even worse, gonna feel, or maybe this is not good or something, yes? So you just let go of that, you're repeating. So after 20-30 minutes, our conscious mind shuts off. And then after 20 or 30 minutes, depend how deep is the phrase in you, how deeply you can relax. After 20-30 minutes, this phrase start to erase that fear or from subconscious or program from your subconscious mind. Any questions? So professor is working with this method for 20 years. He heals people with schizophrenia, even some disease, illness you can erase. By the way, I have one woman who she had a problem with heart. I didn't tell her. She said, by the way, she said, I went to the doctor and doctor said, took me off from medicine. And I was like, what he was doing? And she said, I was erasing. But I have heart problems. She erased even that. This is one of my clients. But people around the world, and especially in Russia, shift happens even with health, with physical body. But emotionally, mentally, it's amazing how it works. Like suicidal people who mostly are mental, has a lot of mental programs. So they sometimes need to erase one program like 5 days in a row because the program is so, the thoughts comes again and again all over. But normally, most of the time, we need an hour to erase each program. And for me, I feel very little emotions because I release a lot of emotions, in those 14, 15 years almost, yeah? But when, as I was mentioned, for many people, that when we start to repeat that phrase or program, they are attached to emotions, to pain. Often people feel a lot of pain. Sometimes like half of body become numb. Can you believe that? And for those who are doing erasing like often, for example, this one woman, one day she like realized I hate myself, and she said her body was numb. Some parts of the body was in like horrible pain, but she knew that this is all by releasing that, but this is how deeply. Can you believe how you can find man? If you hate yourself, you're gonna attract people who hate, because ours are what? We attract what is in us. So any questions about the eraser?
So you repeat the fear
Yes.
over and over and over.
Yes. With closed eyes, you repeat, and when you repeat, some people, as I was mentioning, gonna see a lot of events. Some people, a lot of emotions. You can feel a lot of pain somewhere, or numbness, or cold, or heat, or shaking. This is how you can see how deeply those programs, fears installed in us. And when we start to erase, shows how deeply we are erasing. So we are erasing not just from the mind, but from the body as well. So we can heal our body, physical body. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions?
I do have one question. So when you're repeating the fear, what do you do when a thought comes up that's attached to that fear?
You just
Like
repeat. You put your awareness, concentrate more on wherever you say. It's okay, you ignore those thoughts, but you don't go after the thoughts.
Okay.
But that is normal. The thought's gonna come again and again, and of fear. Oh yeah, that is normal, especially in the beginning. But sometimes, for example, for me, I guess Tom was the same saying, yeah, that he goes so deeply.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like a second lower thing opens up, and you start feeling that your mouth is still going. And that's when you start remembering things from a long time time ago,
Repeat
like
out
6,
the-
7 years old.
Mhm.
Or
And
40
hearing
years old.
Things that people told you. Also,
It's
if there's
just
something
supposed to
that
be
your
that
mother or father told you a lot, or friends, you know,
Mhm.
especially in the early ages,
Yeah.
like on the 70s show, he's always calling his son, you dumbass, you know, that type of thing. If you just repeat that, if you have some of those, I had a few of them.
Mhm.
I think my dad was joking at the time.
Mhm.
But I took it seriously.
Yep.
I started repeating those. And then after a while, I felt sunk in. I could actually remember being in the garage and the smell of the garage and everything. I could, all of it. And then all of a sudden, it was like my mind said, but you're not. And it came back up.
Wow.
And then it was gone.
So did you just say,
The phrase,
you
recall
say
that.
The phrase my dad, well, that was the 70s show. I was just doing that one. Mine's very personal. I don't want to say what it was.
Yes, but
But
there
it
is
was, it was then gone,
beliefs.
and I didn't, and I just felt better,
Mhm.
you know. It
So
was
there
gone.
are programs we know about ourselves. Yeah, I feel
Mhm.
like I used to have. Yeah, I'm unworthy, and I thought this is the
Mhm.
deepest one. But then it's like, no, I'm unworthy because I am ugly, because I'm stupid, because I am of that. So I erase all of them. But now what Tom is talking about, so we have those programs, but we have those phrases, they call key phrase. When someone told us, for example, my mom used to say, happiness always walks with unhappiness. Luck goes always with unluck. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
like something good happened,
Mhm.
okay, different way I can tell. If something good happened, that always something bad happens. This my mom would tell, saying all my life.
oh man,
And
Yeah.
guess when I erase that, it's like, oh my gosh, so many times in my life, and was happening this way. So now what? I had fear that if something good happens, right away something bad gonna happen. So what I erase exactly what she was telling 100 times. If
So you
something
said-
good happens, some bad things gonna happen. I erase. I don't have any fear now that, you know.
You said that 100 times?
No. I said that for, no, my mom said 100 times.
Oh.
This is how she was, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or she would say, what else she would say? Now see, I cannot
Remember?
translate.
Sometimes you
Because
forget.
it's gone.
No, you repeat, honey, 60 minutes.
Yeah,
No less, no more.
that's crazy.
And that is gone.
And you say it out like
Okay, you can speak with no sound,
Mhm.
but usually what happens when your conscious mind shuts off, what? We fall asleep.
Mhm.
So if we repeat with no sound, usually you're gonna fall asleep.
yeah.
So I always recommend to repeat that you can hear, or at least, so you're not gonna fall asleep. But for me, when I was doing the deep stuff, like with my grandson, I would go so deep that I couldn't even open my mouth. I was repeating only in my mind. This is the deepest mind. Yours the same? Like I couldn't
Sometimes, yeah.
even.
Sometimes I stop breathing.
Yes. Oh yeah, stop breathing like for a long time. I don't breathe and I'm just repeating like in my thoughts. I even couldn't move my tongue.
Yeah.
So I would go almost like to the samadhi state, but still, and then after I done, I'm like, I go, I clear garage, I clear all, I have so much energy. Any more questions? So now remember about energy, yeah? For those who get tired often. 80 or 90% of our energy is in our subconscious mind. This is what we hold. The mind is holder, hold those memories. And to hold them, we need energy to hold. Imagine that there is a volcano in you, and even if you are not aware right now, you're going to get aware. That volcano to hold, not to get out, we need a lot of energy. So when we start to erase, we feel more and more energy. So now, I want you to look, or maybe I'm gonna bring this poster here, okay, so everybody can see. So now, question, what we can erase with the quantum eraser, yeah? As I was mentioning, we can erase subconscious fears, and again, start from 1 and don't worry. And then you're gonna see it. Now, what kind of fears? About health, some people has fear, yeah? And fear about health is very powerful actually, that I am afraid to be in pain, I am afraid of suffering, I am afraid to be sick, I am afraid of dying. Then, about yourself,
Can we move that?
I am not, I'm sorry, honey. I am not good enough, I don't deserve, many of those, yeah? Then we have fears about relationship, yeah? Fear of rejection and many of relationship. Then there are fears about money, yeah? Losing money or
not ever making money.
yeah, or never I'm not gonna have enough money or
Not
something.
make money.
So those subconscious fears, yeah? Now, the second group I put up, it's false beliefs or subconscious programs. So here is fear. Mostly here, for me, there are, sometimes could come anger, but mostly anger, sadness, guilt comes when we start to erase those subconscious programs, beliefs about ourselves, yeah? I'm not worthy, or name it. So those subconscious programs about yourself, about others, what other people said about us, yeah? So I call key phrase, and about money too, yes? So rich people are evil or something, yeah? Those are programs, which like from parents could be too. Mm-hmm. And now the third one is about generational programs and curses. Few weeks ago, and usually I'm receiving somehow at nighttime. I'm receiving what I need to. They show me like in a dream. They show me, and I know what I need to release. So, like maybe 2 weeks ago, I get it. Like, oh my gosh, I know. I know that man and woman put curse on my mom, which all curses, yeah, curses goes from generation to generation. The same hatred, one emotion which goes from generation to generation. If in your family, your mom hated someone or dad, usually that hatred goes from generation to generation. The same curses. And the same some programs, like I'm that mom or whatever. But what I discover, I remember that my mom was talking about, and I don't want to go to details, but when she was getting ready to marry my dad, there's priest wanted my dad to marry different woman, and she was telling so many times, we heard that. She said, oh, the priest said, you're never gonna be happy in relationship. My dad never gonna be happy with my mom. This is curse. And especially when powerful person like priests, they have more powerful energy than normal, some people, yeah? So I started to see like, oh my gosh, all my family, my siblings, it's affected each of us. Almost all of us, we get in traumas and divorce, and one brother is not divorced, but he doesn't have kids, and he's like his health is very poor. And now I see my brother's kids are affected. Thanks God, because of my, I guess, the work I do, my kids didn't get affected by this curse. But when I raised, I had so much energy. Okay, any questions? Okay, and one more. Now, deeper than that, there are, I call packets in us, somewhere, stuck here in the body, here or there, somewhere, where we experience those events where we were in shock. Yeah, like for example, I said when my beloved husband crashed, that was shock. And actually, what I figured out later, when I started to do erasing, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so nice. Do you know what I mean? I'm love, I'm light. My heart is always open for the last few years, yes? I don't have any fear. My heart is open. I'm overflowing with love. But guess what I found? When my husband died, I had this program that people I love gonna die. And this makes sense that I am single for the last how many years? I even don't know, 9 years. Man comes and goes.
Because you're afraid of losing them.
Yeah, because I'm afraid of losing, or there was more programs. I had so many programs around man. Now I feel so blessed because, like, do you know what I mean? You will see, if you're going to do this work, you will know how you feel differently when you erase that. It's like, wow, yeah, now I'm like totally okay. You know, I thought I was okay 10 years ago, 9 years ago. So here in those shocking events, sometimes for women could be like sexual abuse. They even don't remember. Or any abuses. So any events which you are in shock usually goes to unconscious mind. And when they come, sometimes maybe we need help, so I can hold a space for you, because I have those few people, because they cannot. Do you know what I mean? But that is okay. Okay, this is all about what we can do with this tool. Any questions? Ready? Yeah, very good time. I guess the questions maybe later you can have it, yeah? So first, what I want to do before we're gonna start the eraser, I did the energy transmission for all of you, but with clearing more, opening more heart. So I'm gonna lay the balls and we're gonna chant. So we're gonna open our subconscious, our heart deeper, and then we will check if heart is open 33 layers, and this is for the first time, okay? Because imagine that if you didn't do any like inner work, imagine that your subconscious mind is like a jar, which is closed, yes?
Yeah.
So now I'm here as an opener. I'm holding the space to open your jar, so you don't need to hold the space most of the time, yeah? You can do by yourself at home, yes, Jana? Make sense? So there are going to be more questions, I feel like, but let's sit comfortable, and if you need some water or something, go to the restroom. So we're going to do a few minutes. We're going to chant, because voice is very powerful. Sound and voice are the most powerful tool for inner purification.
I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
So sit comfortable. And as always, we're going to start from the heart. And for the heart, we're gonna chant Yum.
Yum.
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
Okay, deep breath. Close your eyes. Allow your body and mind to relax. On exhale, deep breath. Sixth chakra, and we're gonna chant Om. Now we're gonna chant M for the seventh chakra. With closed mouth, deep breath. Now for the second chakra, we're gonna chant Vam, Vam, V-A-M. For the first chakra, we're gonna chant Lam. And one more time for the heart. Okay, now I would like to check one person's, because we know from past that we don't need to check everyone's, yeah?
Mine,
Just
because
one.
mine was closed.
Come on. Okay, we are checking. Remember the heart for the first time, especially need to be open 33 layers. This is the way I see. Okay, there are no rules, but okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. It's enough. It's enough for the work to do. So now, one more thing I want to... I know every one of you has fears. You wrote down the fears you want to erase. You're aware of. Now, last night, and as I was mentioned, every time before meditation, before workshops, usually I receive a message from Spirit. And the message I received from Spirit and explanation that we're gonna be erasing, if you choose to, yes? All those fears you have, all of them, they look very real, feels real for you, yeah? But, and there are hundreds, more than hundreds of fears. But whatever you're afraid of, we can afraid of this, that, yes? But all those fears on the deepest level of consciousness, there are free fear, which I was told, that much deeper than fears you wrote. I'm not saying that the fear you wrote, it's not real for you. But let's see if that's gonna resonate with us. One of them or two of them or three of them. So we can do maybe in couples, or we can do half and half different, because the more deeper fear we release, and now I'm gonna explain how I was explained. Fear, the deepest fear in all of us, and again, if you don't resonate with that, it's okay. If you're not ready for that, I am afraid I will never feel love, peace, and freedom, security within me. It's never, honey, about that other person never gonna love you if you don't love yourself. If you're not gonna uncover that love, peace within you. Make sense? One more time, I'm repeating. I am afraid I will never feel love, inner love, peace, security, or freedom, whatever. 3 words, whatever works for you, like resonate more.
So can you repeat it again? I'm afraid.
I am afraid I will never feel inner love, peace, freedom, security.
Yes. Inner love, peace, and security.
Security, and for some people, freedom is very important. I am afraid I will never feel inner love, peace, security, or freedom. And freedom. Number 2. And this one, I realized that for myself, because the first one, I'm okay with that. I guess, those years I feel like for the last few years, I feel always I am loved. I never lose the inner peace, yeah? I feel I have freedom. I feel free. I don't have attachments. And security, I definitely feel secure, because it's not that I have home. No, security is not having home or having boyfriend or girlfriend. No. Or having money. Security, when we realize who we truly are, we trust. We trust life. We trust God or spirit, whatever you call that. There are no things like I'm insecure because of that or that. This is all mind game, like on the surface. Make sense? So, number 2, I am afraid to suffer. And then I am afraid I will suffer if that's going to happen, whatever happens, yeah? Now, I want to explain this one. For those who worry about daughters or worry about something, yeah? Honey, if you are afraid that daughter, not gonna, or you're afraid of anything, yes? It's never about them. It's always we need to bring back to us, because what happened if your daughter not gonna, something, it's not gonna have good life or something, yeah? Or she gonna be messed up, yeah? What really the deepest fear is that you're gonna suffer. This is I discovered like a few months ago. I was thinking, about my grandson. I was back then, once in a while would still come this concern about him. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's really nothing about him. It's actually something he is doing. Oh, he messed up or whatever, how you call it, I don't know. Actually, the fear is that I'm gonna suffer and I don't want to suffer anymore. Make sense? So that I am afraid to suffer because of that. Or do you know what I mean? You write why you're afraid. And number 3 is fear of, as I just mentioned, fear of being sick, being in pain, and dying. Being sick, being in pain, and dying. After you're done writing, let's close our eyes and go within. And again, going within, the more we purify that inner space, because we all, that love, joy, peace, security, freedom is within us. It's deep within each of us. The more we make this with this eraser, the more we purify the inner space, the easier for us to go within and get the answer and feel it. So no worries. And please raise your hands when so you have choice. You can choose one of those 3 fears, the deepest fears, the way I see, the way Spirit show me. You can choose your own, and you can do your own. It's your choice. And you are checking now with your heart. Ready? So what we're going to do, I want to tell your opinion, whatever you feel right now. Then we're going to take a short break, maybe some snacks or something. And then we're going to start the eraser. Okay? Sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
So can we share right now if you are ready, and then we'll see if that's going to change.
Well, I'm afraid to suffer from losing my brother.
And there is more you're afraid of suffering.
Yeah, I know there's a lot more.
Okay, thank you.
I'm afraid I will never feel inner peace, love, security, and freedom.
The first one, okay, thank you.
I think I'm afraid to suffer because of my daughters, or for my daughters.
Okay.
Each one has a different fear.
What?
Each one has a different fear, so.
Yeah, but you afraid,
right.
Because if something goes wrong with your daughters, you're gonna suffer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you're afraid that she's gonna suffer. No, you're gonna suffer, and we don't want to suffer because we are responsible for our health, happiness. Yes, we are not responsible, honey. Daughters took their own path. They have different lessons to learn. We are responsible for our happiness, only we, for our health. Thank you.
I think the daughter gets encompassed in I'm afraid I'll never feel inner love, peace, security, and freedom.
So number 1, number 2. Very good.
I think mine falls under never feeling inner love, peace, security, or freedom.
Okay, number 1. Thank you.
Mine's number 1.
Number 1. Okay, so thank you. So now we see. Okay, let's raise hands. Who chose number 1? I guess 4 of you. Okay.
Me and Tom chose 2.
Number 2. That is okay. So we're gonna have work in 2 groups. Now, what is the benefits working in the groups? Everybody knows that, and I feel goosebumps all over my body going.
You get
More
power.
energy.
Yes. Remember what Jesus said?
When 2 or more gather.
Yes. There I am. So we create that energy. We connect with the source. So if 2 or more, so we have 2 and we have 4 group, which energy amplifies, and we connect with the source much easier. So I can explain one more thing about before the eraser. We're gonna start a bit before break. So what normally I would do in private session, I would play balls when person repeats. If she or he has program of fear, which I'm okay repeating with them, I would usually repeat with them. But if somebody has program like I want to die, I cannot repeat that, correct? So I wouldn't be repeating that. So when 2 of us together repeating the same program, so the energy amplifies and we create that quantum field where there are no time, no space. Time goes boom. Sometimes you feel like maybe 15 minutes and it's an hour already. Do you know what I mean? This is the power of group. Now, I used to play always balls. So the vibration comes and wherever people, with the words is releasing it from that. So it clears the aura, yeah? Now, when I do on distance, yeah, I have clients in Lithuania, Canada, Italy. So when I do on distance, I turn on my CD where I play balls. And actually now for the group, what I'm gonna start playing real balls, but when I'm gonna feel pain or someone needs help, I'm gonna turn on my CD, which is almost the same. Because what's happening, like when I do private one-on-one session, yeah. So if person has pain and I feel pain in me, so I stop playing the ball, I go and do energy transmission or do the clearing. So this is how I'm gonna do this time. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. So I do have a question, because usually you tell us to do it in like words of 5.
Yeah.
So this first one's like really long. Is that gonna make a difference?
Yeah. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I had in mind to say that. I am afraid of. Now what? I am afraid.
I will never.
We're gonna shorten a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna shorten. The best phrase to erase must be 5 words. So if you want to erase 10, I want that and that and that and that and that. Usually it's too much. You're not gonna erase anything. So usually, and professor says that 5. But I'm afraid this is not really. So I'm afraid of this, that, yeah. So 5, 6, it's okay. In group, we can do. I feel like we can do more.
Okay.
But like when you erasing by yourself, because they're like, I am afraid. So what? If you am afraid, 3. So what? You have only 2, yeah. But actually, you can add 3, yeah. Da. But that after the break. Okay?
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
That way it shortens it instead of I am afraid.
Yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah. But this is, I don't count those words. But like, for example, never feel inner love, peace, like, and what? Freedom or security. No more than those 3 words. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. I would share that later, but that is a good point. Mm-hmm. Okay, any more questions?
Should you and I do the same one as they're doing? That way it's even more powerful?
So now we are taking break, short.